Welcome to my new Florida home in the Villages. Some of you may remember that I did a video, I think it's been about 6 weeks now, of my visit to the Villages development in Florida. If you didn't see that video, I'll give you a little brief update on what the Villages is. The Villages is actually a planned community for 55 and older people. Stick with me here, it gets better. The Villages is located in Central Florida, about an hour and 15 minutes north of Orlando. I recently visited the Villages, and this is going to be the story of what happened during that visit and how I ended up living here. If you're new here, welcome in. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you want all the good stuff and the great tips, you might want to sign up for my Sunday morning email newsletter. The link is in the description box down below. I send it out every Sunday morning, literally. It contains all the cool things I found throughout the week, all the tips, all the tricks, all the great information. It's totally fun. It's totally free. It's super easy. I think you're going to love it. Again, the link is in the description box down below. Go ahead and join us. I think it's going to be a nice treat to your Sunday mornings. So let's get back to the story of how I ended up moving to the Villages. This is going to be a fun one. I had actually heard about the Villages a while ago and kind of had a very, very basic understanding of what it was, and I absolutely was not interested. It sounded to me like a bunch of old fuddy-duddies sitting around talking about their ailments. Not my cup of tea. That really shows that I had no clue of what the Villages was all about. What happened is that I have a girlfriend, Lori. You'll meet Lori a little bit later, and she and her husband recently bought a home here in the Villages, and I was surprised. And I said, "Really? Tell me about that." And she did. And what I heard from Lori was a very, very different story than the one I had concocted in my mind. So I became a little bit curious, and you guys know I love to travel and I love a good adventure. So I thought, I'm gonna go visit the Villages because now I'm kind of curious. The things that she told me were that there was just stuff to do everywhere, that there were over 3,000 different clubs with different interests, just a lot of things that piqued my interest. So I decided to plan a trip to the Villages, which I did. And if you didn't see that video, I'll go ahead and have it linked in the description box down below. Now, I planned it so that I came to the Villages when Lori and her husband were not here, because I didn't want the fact that I was hanging around with a girlfriend to influence what my feelings were about the place. I wanted to come by myself, not have any friends around, and just sort of investigate it on my own. And you know what I found out? I found out it was the exact opposite of what I thought it was. This community is incredible. It is the most active, most engaged, most out there, most interested in interesting people our age that I have ever come across. Truly, if you think about that one couple in your neighborhood that gets up on a Saturday morning and they run 7 miles and then they go to the gym and then they do an outdoor barbecue, and there's volleyball and all kinds of games, and they're cooking everything and they're busy all day. That's what it's like here in the Villages. It is the most active lifestyle, the most fun lifestyle, and people who are so engaged in life. I was just absolutely blown away during my visit. So while I was here, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and look at some rentals just because I'm in the neighborhood. I just wanna see what's available. You guys know I don't wanna make a commitment on buying a house unless I've actually lived there for a while and found that it really works for me. So I made some appointments and I spent an entire day during my last visit checking out rentals. I started early in the morning morning and I went all through the day. And the very last appointment I had was this house I'm sitting in right now. I was so really thrilled with the home. It was a brand new home. The owners met me here. They had just closed on it the day before. It's an investment property for them. They live here in the Villages, a little bit up north from me. This house is in the south end of the Villages. I walked in, I met the owners, I looked around at the house, and you know what I said? I said, I would like to rent your home. And I'll tell you what, those words coming out of my mouth were just as surprising to me as maybe it is to you. I really didn't have any intention of renting a home while I was here, but I fell in love with this location, with this house, with everything. And here I am, a resident of the Villages. So I got home from that trip to Florida and I had my work cut out for me. I had to pack up the house in Aiken, get everything into a moving truck, get the moving truck down here to Florida, get the moving truck unpacked, get the critters down here, get myself down here. The whole thing was a huge, big project. So I can tell you what, the last 6 weeks of my life have been a crazy, hectic journey relocating everything, including myself and the critters, down here to Central Florida. Once I got back to Aiken, I had to pack up my entire house. Now, mind you, I knew there was a possibility I might want to move here, but I had no idea that it would be this quick and have so many moving parts of getting everything together. Fortunately, what I can say is between good friends and good luck, everything worked really, really well. There were things that I wanted to bring from the house in Aiken, not a lot, a few pieces of furniture just to hold me over until I got new furniture for this place. And of course, all my stuff, my kitchen stuff, my work stuff, my makeup stuff, my clothes, that whole thing had to come down in a truck. Lucky for me, my friend in Aiken, Jen, Reiki Jen, you guys know her, she's been on the channel a few times. Her husband is a professional driver. So he was available. Thank him so much and bless their hearts. They're just the nicest couple. He actually drove the truck down from South Carolina here to Florida. He and Jen were able to see my new house, spend the night. It really was a lovely way to start off my journey here in Florida. So my things came down in a truck. I actually left Aiken on the 29th of March. The critters and I drove down here. I stayed overnight here in the new house with no furniture, just my camping cot and my camping chair. And the critters got the whole backyard to play in. And then the next day is when Mike and Jen showed up with a truck with all my things in it. So I have been madly unpacking for the last several weeks. Not several weeks. Gosh, how long have I been here? Today I'm filming this. This is the 18th of April. I arrived here on the 29th of March. So it's been a little bit over 3 weeks. And I'll tell you, I have been so very busy unpacking. And am I all unpacked yet? Absolutely not. But there are things that I have put away. I've gotten some new furniture. You can see my outdoor little patio area is pretty well decorated. And I have been having so much fun. What really attracted me to the Villages was the super active lifestyle. I'm one of those people. I like to be doing stuff all the time. I am open to new experiences. I'm open to fun stuff. I like to be outside. I like to do a lot of things. And I couldn't believe how active and engaged this community was. When you're out driving around, there are people running, there are people cycling, there's people playing volleyball, there's people playing beach volleyball. They are out, they're swimming, they're having fun. It really is being immersed in a community that is very, very outdoorsy and active and that sort of thing. And I was talking to my daughter and I said, you know what? It's kind of like being at summer camp, you know, where they have activities all day long and then you go eat and then you do another activity, except insteed of sleeping in a bunk, you get your own cabin. They call them houses. And that's what it's like. And I was telling her that and she said, you know what, Mom? It sounds like Club Med. And she's pretty much right. It's sort of a combination of Club Med and summer camp all rolled up into one. And when I really understood all the things there are to do here, I just fell in love with the whole thing. You can play tennis, you can play pickleball, there's badminton, there's volleyball, there's jogging, there's cycling, there's remote controlled boats, there's paddling, there's hiking, there's swimming, there's everything that you can think of, yoga, aerobics, cardio drumming. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and there really are 3,000 different clubs with different interests. It is like a party from dawn until dusk, and sometimes a little bit beyond dusk. It is just an absolutely dream come true for someone like me who likes to do a lot of stuff. And even though I've been very, very busy unpacking and getting furniture and trying to get everything organized around here, I have fit a lot of stuff in. For instance, I'll go and swim laps in the evening once the day is done. I love to swim before bed. It's so relaxing. So I'll just go on over to the local sports pool and swim some laps, come home, shower off, and oh my gosh, I'm all relaxed and ready for bed. I've joined a gym and I take my golf cart up to the gym in the morning. It's such a wonderful treat. Truly, the lifestyle here is amazing. 2 nights ago, a girlfriend and I saw this event and we thought, let's go do that. And I said, well, you know what? We better get there early because these things fill up. So she and I showed up an hour early for this event. It was at Sawgrass Grove, which is kind of one of the mini squares where they have entertainment and they do activities and functions there. We showed up an hour early and I said to her, I think we needed to bring chairs. And we looked around. There were over 500 people at this event and we did not bring chairs and it was too full. And I looked at her and I said, okay, now we know. Let's go on over to Brownwood Square and listen to music, because at all the squares in the evening, every night at 5 o'clock, there's live music and dancing. And so we just hopped right in the car and drove on over to the Brownwood Square, which is near where I live. And we sat and listened to music for a couple of hours. So even though there are a lot of people doing a lot of fun things, there are so many choices of what you could spend your time doing. And to be honest with you, I am having an absolute blast. The Villages is designed as a golf cart community. Which, what does that really mean? What they have done here is they have designed a huge community, and I'm telling you, it is huge. There's over 150,000 people here and lots of acreage and lots of homes. What they have done is that pretty much anywhere in the Villages you can get there via golf cart, and they've designed it that way. There are some people who move here and decide, I'm never driving my car again, and you know what? They get away with it because within the boundaries of the Villages, there's stores, there's grocery stores, there's shopping malls, there's all kinds of services that you would need to live right here in the Villages. Now, clearly, we are in Central Florida and there's lots of communities around us, so anything you want, you can get to. But if you really wanted to stay within the community and only drive your golf cart, you can get away with it. They have designed it so that there's bridges and tunnels over the major streets so that you never have to get out on the busy streets in your golf carts. A lot of the streets have golf cart paths, or they have paths that are on the private property of the Villages to put your golf cart on to get you from one place to the other. In my neighborhood, I am really near one of the squares called Brownwood Paddock Square. And what's a square? A square is kind of, the center of town that you would think of back in the 30s or 40s, where there was the square downtown and the businesses surrounding that. Only in these squares, every night at 5 o'clock, there's music. so it's a real gathering place. Brownwood Paddock Square is a short golf cart ride from my house, so I just will hop in my golf cart, drive on down to Brownwood in the evening, sit and listen to the music for a few hours, and then head home. It's totally fun, it's totally free, and I love it. As you can see, I'm not sitting in a car, I am sitting in a golf cart. This is my new best friend. This is my golf cart, and I actually picked it up just a couple of days after I got here. It is a Yamaha gas-powered golf cart, which means I can drive all day long and not have to recharge. I can actually go 2 or 3 weeks in between filling up the tank. And I did fill up the tank yesterday. It was about half full, and I spent a grand total of $4 out of all the driving around that I've done. I spend a lot of my time traveling around in this golf cart because everything is really accessible. It's super easy, and it's totally fun to be in a golf cart and driving around out in the fresh air. It is just a great connection to nature, and Lucy, my little puppy, loves to ride in the golf cart with me. So if you live in the Villages and you see a golf cart that looks like a bumblebee, that just might be me. Here we are down at Brownwood Paddock Square, which is the square that is near my house and kind of my hood. And you can see there's restaurants and shops and people and golf carts. And right behind me, over back there, is the square where the music plays every night. It's super fun. People come out and listen to the music and dance. It really is a lovely time. And of course, the weather here in Florida is almost always wonderful for being outside. There's lots of restaurants here in the Villages. You'll never go hungry. And I'll tell you, I've been eating out probably more than I should. This restaurant right behind me is the Bluefin, and across the street is Harvest. Those are 2 of my favorite restaurants. And luckily for me, they're in Brownwood Square, which is very near my house. Great fish, great veggies. Really a lovely time. This is the actual square of Brownwood Paddock Square, and you can see the stage right here. This is where the band plays every night at 5. Now there are different bands that play at all the different venues. I think there's 4 different squares where the bands play every night at 5. It goes from 5 till 9, and the bands kind of rotate in and out. A really popular band is at Spanish Springs or at Sumter Landing or here at Brownwood. It just all depends what your taste is. Everything from blues to rock and roll to disco to big band to jazz, all different genres. And people are out in the square in the evening dancing their little hearts out. So you can see the stage right behind me, and then if you turn around you can see the seating up there. So they have stadium seating, and there's also chairs that they put out every evening. So there's lots of seating, there's a huge space for a dance floor, a nice place for the band to play. It's a lot of fun. This is my health club. I actually joined just a few days after I moved in because I wanted to stick with my fitness program. It's pretty important to me right now. I don't want to be old and frail. I want to be old and active and strong. I initially began coming on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the mornings. It was so crowded. And I was talking to my girlfriend. I said, it's nuts there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning. I'll change to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Well, guess what? It's just as crowded on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday because this community is so active. And you know what? It doesn't bother me in the least that it's busy in there. I am so happy. My heart is so happy that everyone is active and staying fit. And I'll tell you what, there is every age and every fitness level here, from 50s up to 80s, from just doing a little bit of cardio on the bike to lifting heavy and really doing some remarkable things. I'm loving the club. It's really well equipped. Every single machine you need, plus a ton of free weights, and they have lots of classes. I haven't had a chance to attend any of the classes yet, but I do want to because yoga is on my list. This community is broken down into hundreds and hundreds of villages, and each village has its name and its own amenities. And throughout the entire community, regardless of where you live, you can go into that pool or that rec center or that badminton court. It doesn't matter. They're all open to everyone who lives here. This is the pool in my neighborhood behind me, and you can see it's huge, it's gorgeous. And it always has someone here enjoying it. I'm back at the house, just a short golf cart drive from Brownwood Square. And you might be wondering, does she have everything unpacked and all decorated? The answer is no. This is the state of my filming studio. Oh my heavens. I'm actually really looking forward to organizing this. Gonna be kind of fun. This is the disastrous guest bedroom. I've kind of been using this as the area where I'm keeping all the decor stuff before everything is ready for the decor stuff. So it's kind of all piled in here. And then this is the state of my garage. I put all the boxes in here when I first moved in, and I am so happy to report that I have less than 25 boxes left to unpack. I had so many boxes because I moved an entire house and my entire business. So it was quite the project. I'm gonna hop off now and fix myself some lunch, and then it's gonna be time to kind of get ready, hop in the car, and go up north to meet my girlfriend Lori. We're gonna listen to music tonight, and I'll see you then. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and clearly I'm in the car. I'm on my way up to Lori's house. I'm going to pick her up, and then she and I are going to go to the Spanish Springs Square to listen to music, and then her husband is going to join us up there in a little bit. When I did my first video, when I came down for a visit here in the Villages, I said, this is like a golf course community that had a whole bunch of babies. Well, to give you an example, Lori lives up in the north end of the Villages. I live just south of 44. It's going to take me 25 minutes to get to her house, and she's not even at the top of the development. So you can tell how big it is. So I'm going to drive up there. I'll give you guys a little view of the drive along the way. It's really pretty. I'm going to go up Buena Vista Drive, which kind of cuts right through the Villages, right up the center. It's really a really pretty drive, and pick her up, and then I'll give you a little view of what Spanish Springs looks like in the evening. This is the square at Spanish Springs, and I'm pretty sure this was the first square that was built. It's up north from me about 25-30 minutes, and you can see that the architecture in this square, you know, matches the name Spanish Springs. Each one of the squares has a different theme. It's a little Disney-esque without being quite over the top, but there is a theme in each of the squares, and the villages that span out from that kind of keep to the same theme. You know what this is reminding me of? This reminds me of Mexico. You've traveled in Mexico, right? And the piazza downtown?
Yeah.
I have been to piazzas like this over and over and over again. This is my friend Lori, her husband Brian. They both took off their sunglasses just for this. We're out here listening to music in Spanish Springs. Anybody know who the band is?
They are called Slickwood. Yeah,
Slickwood. There's someone new every night, and the funny thing is that Lori and I were at Brownwood just 2 nights ago, and there's a couple that was at Brownwood that are here.
Yep.
So people travel around.
We travel for music.
We travel for music, and this is every single night. You know, when I came to visit, I went out of the hotel on a Monday night and I thought I'm just going to walk around the square down on Sumter Landing to see what it was like. I knew it wasn't going to be very busy because it was Monday night. Oh no, it looks like this every single night. So because every day is a Saturday here, there's 6 Saturdays and 1 Sunday here in the Villages. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you guys love the most about living in the Villages?
Well, I do like that you can have any kind of entertainment every day of the year.
Yep.
And that whether it's at the town squares or at the restaurants, there's always music playing somewhere. So that really like that. And not that I've been able to take advantage of the any of the clubs or anything just yet, but that there's so much to do.
Right. How about you?
Yeah, I just love that we can jump in the golf cart, throw the dogs in the back, and just travel around and just get out and go to the pool or go to a Pilates class, which is my thing, or any of the exercise classes. And there's so many, anything you could want to do. So I'm really looking forward to getting into more of that.
Yeah, and that's the deal. If you are active and of a certain age, we're certain age-ish, this is such a fun place. So anyway, we're going back to the music now. We'll see you in a minute. That wraps up my day today here in the Villages. I hope you enjoyed this video. I loved sharing about my new home, the new adventure. It's a lot of fun and I'm really excited about the months to come. I hope that you're going to come along with me. There's so much to see and do here. I'm sure I'll be doing lots of videos about the activities and stuff to do. And you know what else? There's lots and lots of kayaking in this part of Florida, so I'm excited to go to the springs and do some kayaking. I got my boat in the garage. It's ready to go. So that'll be exciting as well. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.